Tom, just to start off with, can you run us through the start of training, what that celebration was for Jacob?
Yeah, the legend, he's back. He had about a year and a half off just in terms of COVID, the protocols, and obviously we had to take every measure to make sure that the COVID didn't get into the building. And he's been around the club for a while. He's been here longer than me, and he's a staple here, and everyone loves him and gets around him. So just to have a bit of a guard of honour for him to run through a banner, it was put a lot of smiles on people's faces, and I think the biggest was on his, and it was great to have him back.
What was the pep talk that he gave you after?
Oh, just the usual legend pep talk. Everyone takes a knee, and it's always something to do with how proud he is of us. Kick the ball to Walker, to Tex, and then go out and roll them on the weekend. So it usually involves one of those three or all three, and it was the same this weekend. And I tell you, if we had that pre-game, I reckon we'd win every game because he gets us up and about.
His last point's pretty valid, isn't it? Would be something to address this week, a start against the Blues, Tommy?
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Obviously, we don't want to start the way we did last week because that's, probably you do that majority of the time, you're going to lose pretty much every game. So it's a huge thing for us to start well coming off a bad week, and there's no better team to do it against like Carlton because of the way they're playing and high flying. So it's a big task for us, but I think we're up to it.
What about the starts will you address, and how do you address them?
It's an interesting one. We sort of had a mindset last week of throwing the first punch, and unfortunately the way that we come out, we were just a little bit flat and didn't get that done, and we've looked at that through the review in terms of whether it's a mindset thing, a structural thing, and we've put the changes in place that hopefully come Sunday where we've made those changes and can actually impact the game in the first quarter and don't go down 2-3 goals and dig ourselves a hole.
With your personal preparation, is it up to each player to make sure they're ready to go, or is there something that can be done? I'm sure it's not as easy as just clicking your fingers.
There's probably 2 or 3 main factors in terms of you got your individual, your team, and then the warm-up side of it. And I think we've ticked a lot of boxes this year in that regard, and GWS was obviously the opposite in terms of how we started. But it's on the individual to make sure that come the bounce they're locked in and ready to go, but it's also on the team to make sure that we're warm, we're fit, we're rolling, and then individually you're getting to each bloke and making sure that they're ready to go as well. So there's probably the 3 main parts of it, and I think in the end you just got to be ready to go come centre bounce, and if you're not, it shows that at this level it doesn't cut it.
Will you lead them out this weekend, Tommy?
What's that?
Will you lead them out this weekend as a skipper?
Keezy will be captaining this week. It was a pretty quick decision, to be honest, because of just we had a chat around it. Me, Berto, and Keezy and Sloaney and Smithers were all comfortable with where it's at, and Keezy with the form he's in, we just thought it's a good opportunity for him. I'm fortunate enough to have had the role before and done that, and Berto was happy enough to palm it off. So Keezy's going to lead us out and flip the coin, and I think Smithers won all 3 when he was captaining, so there's a bit of pressure on the coin toss, and I'll be into him if I have to run down the other end to start the game because I like starting at that side.
What will it mean to Ben Keys? Obviously, it's such a fabulous turnaround for his whole career. Now he's going to captain an AFL side. Yeah,
it's huge for him. Obviously, it's a temporary thing. He's keeping the seat warm for Sloaney, and Sloaney's still somehow been out there at training today, even though I think he should still be in bed. But for Keysy's story to be delisted, get another chance at our club, and he's probably the hardest worker we've got. Probably got to through the maybe match him, but in terms of total workload, he's up there in game, off field, and stuff like that. He does everything he can. So to come in, have his career come back to where it is, and now probably leading our BNF and whatnot, he's been consistent across the board, and all 5 or 6 games he's been dominant. So it's a just reward for him, and I think it'd be a huge honour for him and to see his family, and they can watch him run out and lead the boys.
A couple of spots to fill. Who do you think's in line to come in for Brodie and Net this week?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We had a great win on the weekend in the SANFL, and there was probably 5 or 6 standout players. Joshua was really good, Paddy Parnell, Wayne Miller is starting to look back to his best, James Rowe was incredible. We just had and then each quarter there was a different standout player, so it's going to be tough to pick, and I don't envy match committee in that regard, but the boys put a good foot forward out there, and we'll see where that goes.
Will Hamill, has he done enough, do you think, to impress to come back in?
Yeah, he's definitely another one. Obviously, he's played senior footy before, and he's shown when he's at that level that he can compete, and he had a great goal on the weekend, which showed where he's at in terms of intercept, and then 3 or 4 bounces I think he had through the middle before he kicked the goal. So he's someone that's definitely put the best foot forward, and as I said, we'll have to see where that goes. But in terms of your guys putting their best foot forward, putting their hand up and saying, hey, pick me, and knocking the door down, he's definitely up there.
How was Riley, mate? Good to see him out of quarantine, out of the bin?
Yep, yeah, he come straight up to me and gave me a bit of lip, and so I said, I wish you were back in quarantine. But no, he's good, he's back. He's tried to shape the beard a little bit, Not sure how that went as well. I think he went a bit COVID crazy towards the end. But yeah, he obviously did a bit of light stuff today, coming off a week of quarantine. You're probably not going to jump straight back into main training. And yeah, we'll see with him whether he plays and going forward how it looks for him.
So do you know if he'll play in the sample yet at all?
Unsure.
No.
Unsure.
And Big Easy, looked like he was just taking it easy.
Yeah, I think it was just a light corky for him. It was more just the contested stuff. We didn't want to get another hit in that area so that it forces him to miss a week. So I think it was just sort of take it cautiously now. We've obviously got the extra break as well, so he can get Friday and Saturday to ripen up, and then he'll be good to go, hopefully.
Just another. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
That's for the question. One on the Brompton side. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation about where you guys are going to end up. Have you got a preference of where you land in the end?
Yeah. Probably a bit above my pay grade, that one. We hardly talk about it in the sense of, like, even in leaders and things like that, it's just hard because there's so much that goes on that we don't know about, and that's for upstairs to handle. But I think the best thing for us is just to get a good location where we can start to build and then develop the next phase of our club, and whether it's inclusive with the community, it's great, like all the different things that we can get right. And yeah, I trust that the powers that be will get that sorted, and I don't think I'll get paid to do that, so I'll leave that one to them.
What role did you play in the review?
Yeah, we sort of, at leaders, we had a quick chat about, we brought a few of the extra players in and the older boys and just talked about what went wrong, why did it go wrong, how do we shape it up, and then in the team review it was just to look at the individual moments of, hey, like, what can you do better here to help the team, and playing your role versus trying to do too much. And so we had a couple of moments where I was in the wrong spot, I called that out, a couple of other blokes in the wrong spot, and we had to talk through that. But all in all, it was a team review, which was good. It wasn't quiet, it was everyone chatting through it and figuring out what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how we can better it.